Yo, what is up, guys? We're up late because the Lakers game just ended. It literally ended a second ago, and I am here with the recap from tonight's action. Although only 6 games, a lot of stuff happened for playoff contention and the future of the playoffs and all that, etc. So, without further ado, I'm going to get straight into the action. Starting off with the Wizards and the Hawks. Obviously, the Wizards are missing Beal, so they can't really win much without Beal. Hopefully, they get Beal for that play-in game at least, get him back, get that win. I really hope they make the playoffs. But yeah, they almost pulled it off, though. Westbrook's 34 and 15, not quite enough. This is the first time in like 3 or 4 games where he hasn't had a triple-double, I'm pretty sure. And with this win, the Hawks officially clinched the playoffs, so congratulations to them. I do really like that Hawks team, so I'm happy for them. My uncle likes the Hawks, so I'm happy for him as well as a fan. Next, I'm going to talk about the Celtics-Cavs, and I'm very reluctant to talk about it because Celtics are in terrible shape. All we really had tonight was Jason Tatum, Aaron Nesmith, Tristan Thompson, Peyton Pritchard, Fournier. That's about it, like, in terms of players that are actually good, you know what I mean? We played Tremont Waters, which I don't know why we didn't start Peyton Pritchard. But anyways, Sexton Love dominate us. Oh, I have to look at the box score. That's my fault. WizardsHawks, let me go look at that box score before we do anything else. I almost forgot. Looking at the Wizards side, Russell Westbrook put up 34 and 15, and that's about it. That's the thing. They don't have any other key players on the team as of now. Looking at the Hawks, Clint Capella got 17 and 11, Trae Young had 32, and Bogdanovich had 20. Bogdanovich is playing absolutely sensational. Shout out to him for really helping the Hawks get wins and get them in the playoffs ultimately. But yeah, looking at the Celtics box score, because we already kind of talked about that game. If this loads, here we go. For the Celtics, Jason Tatum had 29, and again, that's it, because we have no other key scorers on our team, and it really sucked. Hopefully we at least get Walker and Smart for the play-in game. I feel like we can make the playoffs, but we're probably a first round out, because we're going to be playing the Nets if we win, which is terrible. Looking at the Cavs side, 30 and 14 for K Love, 28 for Sexton. Well, I keep telling you guys, Colin Sexton is an absolutely incredible player. So yeah, that's that game. We're going to move on. Safe to say our season's over, by the way. It really is. I've probably said this 3 times already. Us losing actually allowed the Knicks to clinch the playoffs, which congratulations to the Knicks. That's another team I really like in the East. There's not really a team in the East I hate, except I kind of lost respect for the Nets, obviously because of their super team. But all the other teams I really like. I like the East. I don't really hold a grudge against any of the teams, even though we get slapped around by some of them. Most of them, actually, this year. But yeah, congratulations to the Knicks. Let's see what you guys can do in the playoffs. I feel like you're definitely a second-round team, but I don't know how far you can go from there. Anyways, going to Nets and Spurs, Landry Shamet leads the Nets to the win. Harden is back, but he's playing unlimited minutes. It's still a good sign for the Nets, though. Not that they need him. They have 2 freaking All-Stars already. 1 All-Star caliber player in Blake Griffin when he wants to. Spurs are struggling lately. It's still open for the Kings. We'll look at the playoff picture here in a minute after we get through everything. But yeah, looking at the Spurs, DeMar DeRozan put up 21. DeJounte Murray put up 15 and 11. Looking at the Nets side, Brett Brown put up 14 and 11. Jeez, he's really or is that Brett Brown? Is that his name? What's his name? Crap. Bruce Brown, not Brent Brown. That's a coach. Bruce Brown putting up 14 and 11. He's grabbing boards for this team. I don't know how, but he is. But yeah, Landry Shamet put up 21, and James Harden off the bench put up 18 and 11. Pretty good for just now coming back to the lineup. I mean, I'd rather see the Nets win than the Lakers, but I really don't want either to win, if I'm being honest here. Nets next is Mavericks and Pelicans. Pelicans continue to struggle without Zion. Mavericks win with ease. Hardaway and Doncic carry the load. Pelicans are officially out of the playoffs. It sucks. I was really wanting to see the Pelicans or the Kings, one of the two, make the playoffs because I actually kind of like those teams. But it sucks. It's tough. Yeah, looking at the box score here, Hernan Gomez put up 12 and 10. Hardaway put up 27. Luka put up 33. And yeah, that's that game. Moving on, Lillard and McCollum lead the Blazers to another one, and a pretty big one against the best team in the NBA. Even without Donovan Mitchell, they still maintained that. I mean, shout out to them, but they lost this game, obviously. Yeah, not much to say. Looking at the Blazers, Yusuf Nurkic put up 11 and 15, Dame put up 30, and McCollum put up 26. Looking at the Jazz side, Gobert put up 15 and 20, and Jordan Clarkson put up 29, but when Bogdanovich isn't playing good without Donovan Mitchell, they can't really do much. They're honestly, depending on Bogdanovich to put up 20-point games. Quite literally. It's crazy that they've had to come to that point, but they're still in first, so no big deal for Jazz Nation. And the game that just ended, Lakers and Rockets. I was actually kind of hoping that the Rockets would have won. That would have been funny. Again, I'm not a LeBron hater, but I thought it would have been funny. And I mean, honestly, the Rockets kind of deserved that game. Lakers had neither AD or LeBron, but then again, they're out of playoffs, so that'd be kind of a crappy move for them to do that. They squeeze it out. THT, Drummond lead the way. THT's playing really good lately, without AD and LeBron, of course. Looking at the Rockets, Olenek had 24, Kenyon Martin had 20 and 10, and Armani Brooks had 24. Armani Brooks is a beast. He's going to have a breakout season next year. I'm excited to watch this Rockets team next year because they're actually playing pretty good at the moment. Looking at the Lakers, Andre Drummond put up 20 and 10. I think Andre Drummond's officially back, man. He's officially back to being what he was on the Pistons, and he's ready to win a championship for the first time. Taylor Horton-Tucker put up 23 and 10. Kyle Kuzma put up 19 and 10 off the bench. He had a big layup to win them the game, but Taylor Horton-Tucker and Wesley Matthews playing defense is what ultimately won them that. But I'm happy for them. They can win without Brown and AD. That's cool. But yeah, that's Wednesday. Let's move on to Thursday because that stuff is behind us. Anyways, at 6 o'clock, I will be watching this, though, by the way. This is going to be a big night of basketball. At 6 o'clock, Clippers and Hornets. I really hope the Hornets win this because the Clippers clinched already. I mean, I guess both teams clinched their respective spots, but still, it should be an interesting one. Next is Bucks and Pacers. I think Pacers clinched a play-in and the Bucks did, so it's just kind of play to prepare for whatever. Pacers have a nice opponent, a tough one to give them competition and prepare them. Magic and Hawks, this is a give me for the Hawks. Everyone in the East pretty much clinched. We'll get to that in a second, but at this point it's fighting for seeding. Sixers and Heat is going to be a really, really good game. I'm definitely tuning into that one. I don't know who's going to win that. If the Sixers have Embiid back, they'll win. But if not, I think I can see the Heat winning. There is hope for the Kings, by the way. We'll get to that. But the team they're trying to beat to the playoffs is going against the Knicks tomorrow. And I'm honestly going to root for the Knicks because I want the Kings to make it. I like Tyrese Halliburton. I like Buddy Hield. I like Rashawn Holmes. I like Bagley. I like Fox. It's a pretty good team. I like Terrence Davis. Coming up is Raptors and Bulls, which is actually a really big game for the Bulls because I'm pretty sure if they don't pull this one off, they are out of the playoffs. So the Bulls need to win this, of course. Next is Kings and Grizzlies. Grizzlies aren't an insanely good opponent, so Kings could possibly win this and keep their playoff hopes alive. Otherwise, if they lose, I think they're done. Nuggets, Timberwolves, that's a give me for the Nuggets, but we'll see how the Timberwolves can fare against one of the best teams in the league. Trailblazers, Suns. Trailblazers, I don't know what the NBA has been doing lately, but they've been throwing a lot of teams through that gauntlet of Jazz and Suns. The Warriors completed the gauntlet. Let's see if the Trailblazers can do that as well. So yeah, wow, I'm going really fast. I'm only 9.5 minutes into the episode, but yeah, we're going to take a look at the playoff picture. Starting with the East. In first place, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. 1.5 games back is the Nets. Another 1.5 games back is the Bucks. a 5.5 games back is the Hawks, half a game back is the Heat, and tied with the Heat is the Knicks, and that completes the playoff spots. So as of now, Miami Heat has that tiebreaker. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I feel like the Knicks might be able to move to 5th place, which means they'll be able to play the Hawks rather than the Bucks, which is something they'd much rather do. My Celtics are 3.5 games out of the playoffs. That's terrible. Only 1.5 games behind us is the Hornets. I'm not sure if they'll be able to pass us. Maybe they will. I'm not really sure about that. Tied with them, though, is the Pacers. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. We could possibly be playing the Pacers, which I'd much rather play the Hornets, though. I don't know, man. Hornets might not be able to beat the Clippers tomorrow. And then half a game back is the Wizards. Wow, the play-in seeding is going to be super, super intense over the next few days. Anyways, a full 2.5 games, but not out of the playoffs, is the Bulls. So if the Bulls win tomorrow, I think they have to win the rest of their games, and the Wizards have to lose the rest of their games in order to be in that playoff contention. But I don't know. Will it happen, Kenny Beecham? I'm not sure. They got to beat the Raptors tomorrow, though. So yeah, moving on to the West. Each conference has one team that still has a chance to make the playoffs that aren't quite in it yet. The difference between the East and the West is the West still has the last 2 spots in the playoffs still open for grabs. But only 3 teams are battling for it. So yeah. In first place is the Utah Jazz. 1.5 games back is the Phoenix Suns. 2 games behind them is the Clippers. A game behind them is the Nuggets. How much is that? 4.5 games away are the Trailblazers, and the Mavericks are tied with the Blazers. 1.5 games out of playoffs are the Lakers. 2.5 games away from the Lakers are the Warriors. I don't think they'll be able to catch the Lakers. Excuse me. Half a game away from the Warriors is the Grizzlies, and a full 3 games back from the Grizzlies are the Spurs. So I think it's safe to say that the Spurs are either going to be out of the playoffs or at the 10th spot. And it's pretty safe to say that the Lakers are either going to be the 7th seed or in the playoffs. It's just a matter of if they'll play the Grizzlies or the Warriors. I think they'd much rather play the Grizzlies. But 2 games out of the playoffs are the Kings. They still have a shot. They have way more of a shot than the Bulls. No offense to Kenny, but they have way more a shot than the Bulls to make the playoffs. I think they might be able to. Hold on. Let's just take a second to look at the schedule for them. They play the Grizzlies, and the Spurs play the Knicks. The Knicks are better than the Grizzlies. Coming up on Friday, Kings play the Grizzlies on a back-to-back, so if they can sweep that series, who are the Spurs going to play next? Spurs have the Suns. Spurs have an extremely tough schedule coming up ahead. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to be difficult. And the Spurs play the Suns on a back-to-back. So their last 3 opponents are Suns twice, and what was the other team? The Knicks. Knicks and the Suns twice. For the Kings have the Jazz, though. You got to think about that. Kings have the Jazz and the Grizzlies twice. So, I mean, their schedule is a lot easier, but yeah, we'll just have to see how that unfolds. I will see you guys tomorrow. Please tune in to my episode tomorrow. It's getting spicy. We're getting really close to playoff time, and maybe on Monday after I get off school, I could possibly do an end of the season rewards type of thing, end of regular season, where I go over my 3 MVP candidates, defensive player of the year, coaches, all that. Let me know what you guys think. I might also do a top 100 players in the NBA. I'll do a bunch of end of the year stuff just for more content leading up to the playoffs. I will have a lot of specials for you guys. So yeah, I'm just about done talking. What else is I gonna say? Okay. I'll also do my playoff predictions before the play-in even starts. So, next week, obviously tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 more recaps for the regular season. Please tune into those. You'll want to watch those to keep yourself updated on all the latest NBA action. And then the next week, maybe like Monday, I'll do top 100 and season awards. I don't know when the play-in starts. I think it's on Tuesday, maybe. We'll have to see. We'll have to squeeze my videos in. Instead of video game gameplays, we'll probably have to do more NBA content in the coming weeks. So yeah, I'm done talking now. So